busy because I think I mentioned that I was gonna have a new job or like a kind of promotion, but like I expected to have, I can't remember whether I mentioned, I expected to have longer to kind of transition into the role, that things wouldn't be changing as quickly as they are, but like some of the changes came in a bit quicker than any of us expected, so it's like trying to adjust to that, trying to essentially do two job roles, my kind of my old role but not really, and also like this new role. I did get asked the other day actually, like, oh, you are already in that role. I was like, I don't think I am. I was like, I think it's not official until May, but who knows. And I got asked like who would be taking over my oldish role, and I was like, it's not officially been decided, and I don't know whether we're meant to interview for it, so it's impartial. But like, I know a name of who it probably will be, but I don't know whether, like, from an HR point of view, it'll have to be handled differently. Who knows? I'm sure I've said before, like, someone who works in HR where I work actually watches my videos, so yeah, you can let me know whether I have to actually interview for this replacement role for me, although I think HR were unaware of a lot of the changes. Anyway, that is irrelevant to everything. I'm trying to think of just things that have been happening. I need to record a couple of videos in advance, I think. Yeah, probably. Because in the middle of February I am off down to London. It was a trip that I was meant to take in October, but it was literally the week before I had my boob job, so I was like, I don't want to go because I don't want to risk getting COVID and my surgery being cancelled for 4 months. So I'd changed all of the tickets till February, so I've got that. Be on the 9th, we're going down to London for really one whole day and like 2 half days, or I think we get to London in on the afternoon of one day and then we're leaving in the morning, so we might have a chance to do some touristy things and go out for some food and stuff, and then the week after I'm going to see basically something, a random fact, or not so random fact about me, is that my dad, who is someone who is very important to me, basically raised me on Radio 4 and Radio 4 comedy, and I know for a fact I'm going to lower the average audience age by a good 20-30 years, given that the show has been going for 50 years, but I got tickets to the best of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue when it's touring in the UK, because there's one of the shows is really near my work. Like, originally I wasn't going to bother, but then I reread the email and Marcus Brigstock is actually on the panel for the show near where I work, so I was like, Marcus Brigstock is one of my all-time favourite comedians, so there is no way that I'm missing that, so I got tickets. And then today, as I'm recording this, I heard the really sad news that Barry Cryer had died, and he was one of the, I think he was the original, or one of the original cast of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, and I was saying to Jordan that I have a picture from the last time I saw I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, which was like the panel they had last time, and I'm fairly sure now pretty much half of that panel has now unfortunately died, because it was like Jeremy Hardy, Barry Cryer, and I always forget his name, it was one of the goodies, not Bill Oddie. I couldn't tell you without googling, so you're just gonna have to either google it, or I'm gonna end up googling it after, because I can't live with not knowing. It'll who else was on the panel? Jack D. And I feel like there was somebody else, like they're still around, but everyone else in that picture is like, no. Well, Colin Sell as well. But yeah, it's like odd, because it feels like I always grew up listening to I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, and like recordings of sorry I Haven't a Clue, like the really old ones with Willie Rushton. My dad, one of the stories he always tells is part one of the rounds they do. If you've never listened to I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, is the Uxbridge English Dictionary, and it's basically different definitions of words, and something I think it was Willie Rushton had said was like a whistling dildo, and I had said to my dad I must have been about 6, 7 maybe, I don't remember asking him, and I said to my dad, what's a dildo, or like what's a whistling dildo, and he was like, ask your mum, and me being a kid not knowing any better, asked my mum, and she absolutely lost it with my dad. But it's a story like he always tells, and they have a round that's called Swanee Kazoo, which combines the lovely music of the kazoo with the Swanee whistle, and I think like everyone who hasn't, or maybe has heard a little bit of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue, has heard of the game Mornington Crescent, where I don't think anybody really knows what the rules are. Are they made up? Who knows? Where you have to try and get from a London tube station to Mornington Crescent on the tube map. Yeah, I'm just rambling about stuff that everyone's going to be like, you're a weirdo. Nobody cares about your weird British comedy show, radio comedy show, Emily. I also recently bought, because they bring out every so often like a greatest hits CD. I say CD, I bought like the audiobook version, because I don't know, CDs aren't really a thing anymore. So I bought the latest version of that with the intention that we would listen to it on the way to Centre Parks, but then I'd also got an audiobook of the Museum of Everything, and we kind of ended up just listening to that and then haven't gone back to it. I got Jordan into the show when we'd gone to the lakes, because I was like, oh, do you want to listen to this? And he was like, okay, and it was kind of his humour. Centre Parks was great, by the way, apart from Jordan getting COVID. We had a lovely time, it was very relaxing, though we got back and then Jordan had a COVID, and then in England, if you are an American subscriber, you may be aware of it. If you are an English subscriber, there's been like this mystery illness that's affecting dogs, where they get like sickness and diarrhea. Basically, I think it was the Sunday after, like when Jordan was clear of COVID, Rossi started like with the illness. I didn't even think it could be, I thought it was just dog diarrhea. But by the Tuesday he was really bad, so I called the vets and they were like, yeah, we'll get you in straight away. So I went to see them late that day, basically got given a course of antibiotics, put on a bland diet, got given some probiotic stuff to put on his food, was told to give him 4 meals a day. He didn't have like any of the vomiting or anything, but the vet did say like, oh, this is the 5th or 6th case we've seen of this, and then like the news articles were saying there were a lot of other cases and this mystery illness that was affecting dogs, so it seemed to be further inland. I know there was a doctor in Newcastle who recently unfortunately passed away from whatever this mysterious virus is that's affecting dogs, so it must be here in the northeast. And he's absolutely fine now. He was fine from like the day after. He's gone out with Jordan this evening, though he is pretty much 100% back to normal. He was like really not himself. He didn't, like, Rossi isn't well when he doesn't want food, and he ate his food that Tuesday morning, but he was reluctant. And then I tried to take him for a walk, and he was like, I don't even want to go for a walk. And yeah, okay, if I try and take him for a run, he absolutely hates that, but like a walk, he's usually more than happy. So like when the vets were like, how's his behaviour, I was like, it is a bit off. The vet also, when we went through, I feel really bad because it makes me feel like a terrible person, but I assure you I try my best not to be a terrible person. But the vet had to do his temperature, and the way that they take a dog's temperature is they put a thermometer up the bum, and so they were like, oh, can you hold him? And I was like, yeah, no problem. So I held him whilst the vet lubed up a thermometer, essentially, and before she'd even got it near him, he was complaining and whining, and a nurse, like a veterinary nurse, had to come in and basically cuddle him whilst the vet did the temperature, and I just couldn't stop laughing. I think the vets thought I was like getting upset over it, but I was just like laughing at his reaction because it was just so over the top. Like, it was so over the top. Like, he was growling about it, and you could see like a little tear in his eye. Like, as soon as she stopped, he was absolutely fine, and he licked the vet, and he was more than happy. It was just that reaction. I said to Jordan it was a very stereotypical male reaction. Sorry for that sweeping generalised statement there. But she said his temperature was a little high, but that was probably because he was a little bit upset because of it being in the vets, and the fact that they were being invasive with a thermometer, essentially. But yeah, apart from that, the vet also commented how muscular he was and how it was good to see such a muscly dog, because they see a lot of overweight dogs, which is nice to be told, because I've always maintained that Rossi is a lovely hench boy. Even like, he's probably less muscly than he was because he doesn't go for runs anymore. To segue onto running very briefly, I am now back to the level of running, fitness level, whatever you want to call it, that I was before I stopped for my surgery, which is great. I'm at the same point in the training plan that I was at, and then I'll be moving on to the half marathon training plan. Even though I absolutely hate the Great North Run, I actually signed up for the ballot for the Great North Run, so we'll see at the end of the month whether I get into that. Part of me doesn't want to, but I know even like if I don't get in, I'll probably still be disappointed, even though I'm like, well, I didn't want to do it anyway. Like, when even though it wasn't something you wanted, you don't get it and you're still disappointed. I can't think of a word, or I can't think of a way to describe it, but I'm sure like you'll know what I mean. Can empathise at least. I can't remember if I mentioned in my last video, but I have ordered myself a new iPad, but it won't be arriving until the middle of March. I guess that Apple's probably affected by the chip shortages that are affecting everything at the minute. I ordered a new iPad because mine, I've had it for about 4 or 5 years and I can't get iOS updates on it anymore. It's just been like really slow at the minute, and I've had issues with the teleprompter app that I use, so I was like, it's about time. I was probably going to get one anyway, and like the reason I hadn't got a new one before was because I couldn't justify it, because I literally only use that iPad for occasionally I'll watch The Apprentice on it because Jordan has no interest in watching The Apprentice, and I'll watch The Witcher on it because Jordan had no intention of watching that. So it gets used for Netflix. It got used a lot when Casey was younger because she would just use it. And it gets used for like the teleprompter app for my true crime, but that's about it. But I know it will get to a point probably soon that I probably can't even run iPlayer on it. I can't use Facebook Messenger on it if I wanted to, and like the search and stuff on it's really slow. It's just a really old chipset now, but like the battery on it's fine because it's never been frequently used and overcharged. And I think like the only other issue with it is it's got like a faulty volume switch. So someone I work with was like, "Oh, what are you doing with the old one?" I was like, "Well, I didn't really have a plan for it." And he was like, "Well, how much do you want for it?" And I was like, "Well, look, if I took it to trade in somewhere, I'd probably only get about £20 for it." And I was like, "So it's yours for £20? And they were like, "Yeah, sure, just when your new one arrives, we'll sort something out." So that's cool. So middle of March for that, and I kind of can't wait because I ordered a Logitech crayon with it as well, because one thing when I moved over to doing all my crime scripts digitally, I kind of wanted to still write them just because in my head it felt quicker. Maybe it wasn't, we'll see. I just like the idea of having one to kind of help with that side of things. I'll probably never use it for any graphical art because I have no artistic talent at all. Maybe I'll design little things, or attempt to, and then be like, they look terrible. Yeah, the reason that I became a programmer was because I realised very quickly that I had no design skills, and I was a much more logical person. I can't remember whether I've ever told the long and probably slightly boring story of how I ended up where I am at in my life. Maybe if that is something you'd be interested in hearing, hey, let me know and I'll make a story time video about that. I've managed to ramble on about, it feels like, absolutely everything and absolutely nothing at the same time for nearly 20 minutes now, so that's probably quite good going. I'll probably end this video soon. I have been thinking about like what I would want to do for my 1k special and 900 special. If I do a 900 special, I might just leave it to 1k. And I thought about maybe doing a live stream. I can't actually live stream from my phone until I hit 1,000, I think, because I pretty much do everything video wise from my phone. I would probably have to do it that way. Like, I guess I could maybe do one on Twitch or something, but it would be getting everyone over from YouTube to Twitch. I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are. I think it'll probably be a while before I hit 1,000 anyway. Like, it'll probably be this year. I would like it to be before my birthday in April, but if it's not, I won't be upset. If it is, I'll be very happy. Like, it's still crazy to me that I have nearly 900 subs, because I'm just this boring person who talks about boring things, and I never expected my channel to